Andrea. Hello. Hi, Resistor. Hello, Robert. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am just trying to get comfy here. Hi. You guys are going to want to get comfy and cozy because we've got some raw truth spilling at you today. We're going to spill the tea on narcissism. Today's video is called Narcissism Exposed: The Language Patterns and Behaviors that we cannot see, that we miss. So now that everybody is kind of shuffling themselves around after Christmas, now we get back into the swing of things. And this year, I think we're just going to be like streamlining, can I speak? Streamlining along in our healing, and we're shuffling ourselves away from narcissism and the narcissistic trauma. And I have good vibes. I have, I'm very hopeful to see us, going in a different direction on this channel. You guys are healing, you're growing, but there's still some stuff, we've got to work out. So it's good to have a refresher. It's good to, button up and tighten up the shield, so to speak. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the behaviors and the language patterns that narcissists use. So most people think healing from narcissistic abuse comes from finally understanding the narcissist. Yeah, but what if that very thing of understanding the narcissist is keeping you stuck? What if the most dangerous lie that you were sold wasn't by them, but it was by your ego, by the belief that words equal truth, intensity equals intimacy, and emotional depth equals emotional capacity? Hello, Diane. Nice to see you. Welcome. See, the narcissist didn't just deceive you. They spoke the language that your ego receives. They spoke the language of the current programming of your nervous system, as your nervous system trusted before your discernment ever had a chance to speak, to say, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. And even if you did say, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, your nervous system, like, this is familiar. And what feels familiar is equated to safety, even though it's not. So this is why the pain still hurts. Like, this is why the pain is still so real. Hi, Dan. Nice to see you. Welcome. Now, this isn't because you were weak. This has nothing to do with, your self-esteem has nothing to do with why you were traumatized by the narcissist. And it's not because you missed the red flags. It wasn't because you were weak. It's not because you knew better. No, it's because the relationship that you wanted never existed on the same psychological plane you are standing in. There was a mismatch and you couldn't see it because you were taught somehow in your life, whether that be from your imprinting in childhood or the world stage that we live in, somewhere along the lines, we were taught to behave like the narcissist. But we don't have the same motives of the narcissist, so we may look like them, we may seemingly fit in to their world, but no, we can't do what they do. We can't abandon our empathy, and that's why it hurts. So this pain that we're feeling is because we've abandoned or tried to ignore our empathy. But our empathy is engaged, that guilt feeling is engaged to keep us from returning. Those sad feelings, those low feelings are a measure to say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right, something's wrong here. But we've been taught that those bad feelings are good. Really? Yeah. That's the normal of the narcissist. You want to fit in their world, you got to feel those bad feelings every moment of the day. You got to feel bad about yourself every moment of the day. So when we stand on the other side of the pain, we learn that God is joy. And that is a way that we can live in pure bliss and pure joy all day long, every day, through gratitude and appreciation. You know, being thankful for what you have and thankful for what you don't have. So the fact that we're still hurting, some of us are still hurting, some of us are still like trying to answer the question, did they ever love me? Did they want me back? Was I ever good enough? All those are trying to find closure in a reality that was never hospitable. This reality that you formed with the narcissist was a shared fantasy, yes, but you could never habituate to their world. Never. It's never going to work. So in this video today, let's talk about the truths that we victims already feel, but maybe we haven't fully named yet. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am a peer support mentor, and I'm here to help you, you know, any day of the year, the new year, the old year, with the past, the present, the future, whatever you guys need help on, I'm here to help you sort it out. A link is in the description of this video, as, you know, spending an hour with me might be just enough time to help you change your mind by seeing a new perspective so you can move forward while you work out your healing your way. Thank you, Resistor. Resistor is posted my email, shannongilmore@protonmail.com, and the links that are in the description of this video. If you guys want to support this channel, we'd love to, you know, see you supported. Your healing is most important. So we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, for you guys, excuse me, and every video is different. So we're here to help you sort it out. So take advantage of this channel and let me know what you think. Leave a comment or leave me an email. Scoot me off something and let me know where you're from and what you think of this channel. Dan says, I hope 2026 your channel takes off in a big way. I can see you reaching a lot of people. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. I think this channel does reach a lot of people, but many people just watch in silence and don't say much and don't like it. They just watch it. That's interesting, and then pass us by. You know, because maybe they're not ready yet. But you know what? We're going to reach the people who are ready and who aren't ready. We're going to reach a multitude of people. We're going to bring God's people home. That's what we're doing on this channel. So I'm still leaving comments in your videos. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Hey, Ladis? Is Ladi or Ladis? How do we say your name? Hello. Nice to see you. Welcome. So we're here in this video unpacking some uncomfortable truths that you may feel, but you can't fully put a name to them quite yet. These are those uncomfortable truths, the ones that create doubt before they create freedom. So we're going to explain in this video how narcissists use language to regulate themselves. And that overrides your intuition, as we're going to learn why your intuition wasn't wrong. It's just the language that the narcissist speaks does not match your language that you speak. You know, the love language that you and the narcissist speak are two different things. So this is why healing doesn't come from seeing things so clearly, because we have to experience things in order for us to really see them, because experiences teaches us something that the eyes can't tell us. You know, the experience shows us the underpinnings, the underbelly of toxic behavior. So when you understand this, you get to reclaim your trust in your own perceptions, your own intuition. and believe what you feel, believe what you see, believe through experience. No, I've experienced that narcissist over there one too many times. I'm going to leave them alone. So, hello, Rosie. Nice to see you. Hello, Squirrely. How you doing? I don't cure anybody. God cures people, not me. I'm not a doctor. Jesus is our doctor. But I'm just here to help. But thanks for your question, Squirrely. I appreciate that. So, if you're looking for comfort, this video, well, it's not going to be the comfort that you're looking for, because we're going to give you the truth. And if you're ready for clarity and truth that actually can change you, well, then stick around for about an hour or so with me. And you can also make an appointment with me and talk with me for an hour, just personally. The link is in the description of this video. So you want to know something that unsettles your certainty about the narcissist? Well, I want to share with you this controversial truths that you already sense, but you haven't fully integrated yet. And how I know this is because you're still asking the questions. Did they love me? Did I even matter to them? Do I matter at all to them? Did they, fall in love? Do they love their new supply more than they do me? How can I change to better suit them? How can I get them back? How can I take revenge? How can I get payback on them? So these things that you're still asking yourself and ruminating on, we've got to change that. Because these things are all creating cognitive dissonance in you. And that dissonance is often where the real healing begins, because you got to challenge that cognitive dissonance. You got to break the chains that in order to break the chains, you've got to see the chains, right? So, you with me on this? Let's do this. Hello, Cynthia. Nice to see you. Welcome. We get Cynthia for about a month. So this is such a treat as she works. And she's a teacher. And so we don't get to see her very much, as often as we did. So it's a treat to have Cynthia here. It's a treat to have all of you guys here. But thank you, Cynthia, for joining us today. It's so nice to see you, girlfriend. And it's so nice to see all you ladies here in the house. We have Diane, such a lovely lady. Oh, I met her online years ago over the phone and through a mutual friend. And it's just, I can't wait to meet you, girl. And Andrea, I met her this past summer. That was fun. That was awesome. And I can't wait for us to do something again and do something fun. And you can show me your neck of the woods where you live. That's so cool. So hello, everyone. It is so nice to see you. And Resistor, I've never met you in person, but it will be lovely to meet you in person as well. And, it'll be lovely to meet you guys all in person when we finally start doing our retreats. That's still a goal. That is still the goal. So let's do this. Let's get down to business with this video. So when I come to Canada, I want to meet you both. You will. Absolutely. That's in our future. That's done. It's done. So let's do this, because let's look at this. Trouble number one. The narcissist didn't lie the way that you think they did. Now, here's the controversy behind this, is that much of what they said felt sincere on your part because it was emotionally true according to what you wanted. And it was emotionally true for them on a superficial level. See, the way you think and the way the narcissist thinks are two different things, two different concepts, because they think with adrenaline leading the way. You think with oxytocin leading the way. One's a bonding hormone. We loving individuals have this bonding hormone, and it leads the way. But with the narcissist, just the thrill of the chase, the thrill of being in the moment, that's what makes them feel good. And so we mistake that feeling, how they feel good, with how we feel good. So narcissistic language is state-based, not value-based. Ours is value-based. So they speak from who they are right now, in the superficial zone of, I forgot who I am because I have to be somebody I'm not in order to impress you, in order to get your attention. So I'm going to puff myself up and I'm going to mirror you. So now they are actors in the game of life. That's what they are. They're actors in the game of life. And their script is seeing how we operate, and they mirror that. So they speak from who they are right now, not from a stable internal self. It's, I've never felt this way before. You're the only one who understands me. I swear I'll change. I can do this. Just give me another chance. See, we get stuck because we assume that their language reflects their character, and it doesn't. It doesn't. With narcissism, language reflects emotional regulation. It reflects their needs according to this emotional regulation. So for us, healing requires grieving not just the lies, but the loss of believing words equal identity. That's why, excuse me, I gotta move this Bible. I got my big honkin' Bible out, and it's giving me a scratchy throat. Hang on a second. Oh. I'm just gonna put a cover over it. I just put a cover over it. Oh, that's better. Oh, old pages. All right. So the healing from this requires us to see the lies, but also to experience the loss from the perspective of, who are they really? Their identity is not our identity in true fact. Okay, they just mirror us or other kind-hearted people to lead us to believe that they are just like us. So, you know, it's difficult because we automatically believe them and we put our expectations on them. So when somebody says, oh, I'm going to do this for you, or you're the best person I've ever met, I've never met anybody like you, you believe that. It makes you feel good. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a space to feel good. And we don't recognize that we're getting this, you know, our sense of feeling good from the external side of ourselves, when in actuality, God wants us to start feeling good from the internal. So we have to really take a look at that, you know, sit there and think, okay, well, they said they were going to do this. Did they follow through? No. And a lot of times when you're dealing with somebody who is a quote unquote Christian, how could they do that? They were supposed to be a Christian. A godly person will follow godly ways, will follow the ways of love. Does Jesus judge you? No. Does Jesus chastise you? No. Does Jesus make you feel like shame? No. See, narcissists, they may have read the words of Jesus, but they can't understand it internally, where God even says, you know, in the New Testament, men are supposed to love their wives as Jesus loves the church or the congregation or the people that are his. God loves everybody the same, equally. So when you love your neighbor as yourself, that's what this is. You are married to yourself. You are married to God. So husbands, the masculine inside of you needs to treat the feminine inside of you as you're married, as how Christ sorry, I got some noise in the background here. I was a little bit distracted. How he treats. So our feminine nature is to treat our feminine nature exactly how Jesus treats his people. So our masculine and feminine inside of us are married to each other. So we, as the witness, have to keep the masculine and feminine inside of us to get along. We have to nurture each equally. And so when you understand that you and the narcissist are not matched spiritually, you understand then, well, okay, they did what they did. They said they were a Christian, but they did what they did anyway. So that proves to me that they're not Christ-like. But instead, we allow the cognitive dissonance to take hold because we have this certain thing that automatically, if someone claims they're a Christian, they're saved by grace, and they can do whatever they want. So why does this hurt so bad? Because it's showing us that they can't do whatever they want, because there's people involved, and people have feelings, and people get hurt. That's why we align ourselves up with love, because when you unconditionally love yourself as you love your neighbor and you unconditionally love God, you can't hurt. Love does no harm to its neighbor. So Diane, oh, you have to ask them. Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Okay. I'm just going to let it be. You guys talk amongst yourselves. So is that Chase Hughes? He wasn't an ex-CIA agent, was he? I follow Chase Hughes on YouTube, so that's when I see a CIA agent. He talks really, yeah, he's really good, isn't he? I like him a lot. You know, I've taken some of his stuff that he talks about and I've expanded it on this channel, because it's just like put my own thoughts to it, because it's just like, oh, wow. Like, he gives you a lot to think about. I want to get his new book, something about the tongue, the tongue, or the power of the tongue, or something like that. He's got a new book out. So, hi, Cash Ketchum. Yeah, that is random. We're talking about narcissists here. So number 2, truth bomb, trouble bomb, whatever you want to call it. The problem with the narcissist is, number 2, the bond felt spiritual with you because your nervous system mistook intensity for truth. The controversial truth of this is that what felt like soul recognition, that, oh, he gets me, she loves me, or, you know, like we're soulmates. Oh, nobody understands me like they do. Oh my goodness, we got so much in common. Makes me feel so good. This is awesome. Well, what often is soul recognition was often the nervous system entrainment, not spiritual alignment. See, narcissists speak in mirrored emotional cadence, where they mirror your same values, same wounds, same God language when that's applicable. If they claim they're Christian, they have the same longing, but it's not the same. Appearances are deceiving, as they are meant to be, as far as the narcissist is concerned. So, listen, in 98, and I'm feeling like I'm 23, and listen, I have an old photo of me that I've put in my profile, me when I was 22, and I got married at 13. So tell me, why wouldn't my parents do that? Why your parents would do that? I would have to say that might be a cultural thing. If you were, you know, in a arranged marriage. So you are welcome to talk to me, Kay, at, what's your name? Carmen? Hello, Carmen. It's nice to see you. You're welcome to email me at shannongilmore@protonmail.com if you like. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. Trolling, 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 troll speech. I don't know. I want to come up with a theme song for the trolls from the theme song from Rawhide. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those something rolling. You know, Rawhide. Yeah, you guys get it. I think it's funny, but it's not funny when I don't have the words in place, but it's funny nevertheless. All right. Chances are when you see a troll, you're going to be going trolling, 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 and you'll make up your own words. There you go. I put a smile on your face. Cool. All right. So when we assume that the narcissist has the same values, the same wounds, the same God language, the same longing as we do, this creates a false resonance. You know, the devil's tritone? Have you ever heard of that? The devil's tritone? It's where you're playing chords that are out of tune, where a note should be a sharp and it's actually a flat, or it's the wrong, C and E, those two notes go together, but if you play a C and an F and you sing in the key of A, you might, it kind of sounds funny, So that's what happens with us and the narcissist. There isn't a harmonious frequency. There's no ah, and then the accompanying harmony to it is just it comes out and it's like, oh, this hurts my ears, but we can't hear the sound, but we feel the sound. We feel the sound through feelings. So this creates a false resonance, and your body says yes before your discernment can speak. Wait a minute, this is off. Something's off here. And our brain says, well, show me what's off and then I'll believe you. But that's not how the spirit speaks. The spirit doesn't always speak with, physical sight. It speaks with the spiritual, the hidden eyes, the eyes of the heart. That's how the spirit speaks. So we already know something was off. Like you can tell that something's off, I'm sure, in 2.2 seconds, instantaneously. But our healing stalls this because fear gets in the way and says, stop, wait a minute, stop, hammer time, do, can't touch this, and never mind, sorry, I'm just being silly now. Okay, so if it wasn't real, what does that say about me? That's what our questioning, our cognitive dissonance, the rumination is like, okay, if it wasn't real, then what does that say about me? It's all about me. Like, it is all about you, but not in the way you think. You were hurt. You were lied to. You were manipulated. Okay? You were led to believe the truth that was a lie. That's where you are concerned. We've been taught or conditioned to believe, well, if somebody treats me horribly, then it must be me. No. It's them. So here's another truth that is hard to hear. Number 3, closure doesn't come because the relationship never existed on the same resonance or the same plane. So the fact is that you're trying to close a story and find closure that the narcissist never experienced as a story. Okay, so you want an ending to that fairy tale dream story that you had in your head that you thought you were living. There is no knight in shining armor. There is no walking off into the sunset on a horse, with a no name. Sorry, I'm in the mood because Andrea has a jam session tonight at 8 o'clock. So if you guys would please join her in her jam session. I'm so excited. So I'm just coming up with these, I rode in the desert with a horse with no name. La 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 la. Yeah, anyways, so my mind is there. I'm excited for this jam session. So please click on Andrea, the Goose Mother's name in the chat and find her YouTube page and subscribe and hit the notification bell because tonight is her jam session at 8 o'clock. What an awesome segue. Thank you, Jesus. I'm just coming out. Is this thing on? I'm a stand-up comedian, right? Is this thing on? I got no mic. What's up with that? Anyways, I'm just being silly. I'm being silly. So anyways, you know, the thing is with the narcissist, we want closure, but you're never going to get the closure that you're looking for because the narcissist had a different idea about the relationship than you did. So the truth of the matter is, it was never a relationship that bonded two people together. What ended up happening is you bonded yourself with yourself, as now you are forced to take a look at yourself and own you. You got to own the parts of you that you were neglecting. Hang on a second. I got to switch batteries. I got to switch. You know me and my phones. Me and my phones are never properly charged. Okay, so closure doesn't come because the relationship never existed the way that you wanted it to. So you're not going to get the proper answers that you're seeking from them. You're going to have to go find them out on your own, but how you find them is not out there. You find them from in here. Because what the narcissist reveals to you, you know, they said this, but they were a Christian. How could they do this? They said they were a Christian. How could they hurt me so bad? Well, you claim you are a Christian. How come you're hurting yourself so bad? And you do. You're ignoring yourself. That's hurt. That's causing yourself hurt. When you ignore yourself, that does hurt, right? You know, we accuse the narcissist of, you know, stonewalling us, ignoring us, not paying attention to us, not answering the important things of the conversation that we need addressed. They deflect, they ignore. We do that with ourselves. We're ignoring the good things in ourselves by ruminating on the negative speech in our heads. I'm such a loser. I'm a nobody. I just can't do anything right. Nobody loves me. You're neglecting the good parts of you. You come in two parts. You've got this yin and yang inside of you. You've got the, you know, the stuff that you do that is against God and stuff that you do that is for God. And when we're focused on the negative, we're not focusing on God. We're not focusing on the good parts of us that make us joyful and happy. And, you know, focusing on the joyful things allows you to be, you know, pleased with yourself, where you enjoy your own company. So you're trying to close a story that the narcissist never experienced. Their language reveals that they contradict themselves without distress. They are a walking contradiction. They rewrite history without shame. They hide from shame. And they speak of intimacy as being a series of events or an event. It's not continuity. So we seek meaning. Narcissists seek regulation. So that's why conversations go in circles. It's not avoidance. Well, it is for the narcissist. It's avoidance, but it's also structural. You know, it's structurally not sound because there's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no foundation of love for the narcissist. So here's another truth. Number 4. You weren't too empathetic. You were linguistically over-trusting. What does that mean? Well, controversial the controversial truth of this is that, okay, so our empathy was hijacked, used against us, weaponized against us, yes. But empathy is not the problem. Empathy is not a vulnerability on our part. The narcissist cannot see empathy the way that we see it. They don't have it in them to adhere to work within the confines of empathy. It's non-existent. So what ends up happening is they formulate a pattern of language that mirrors empathy. So we end up believing a language without the pattern analysis behind it, the micro expressions, the body language, the influx, the actual heart within the words that they say. There's no empathy in the words that the narcissist speaks in empathetic tone. There's no empathetic tone there. So we use our empathy to measure their empathy. Oh, they really meant this. Oh, I don't think they meant it that way. Oh, I think they really meant to do this. Oh, I think if, oh, poor souls, they're having a bad day. I'll help pick up the slack. So we use our empathy to give meaning to their lack of empathy. But we use our empathy to give their expression, their behavior, meaning in the spiritual tone. And it doesn't work. So we weigh tone over consistency. So we look at their language, and we put our heart into their language. So we look at, their words come to us empty, but we're listening to their words, and we don't recognize that we're putting our heart into their empty words. And so we end up trusting our words, but we end up trusting the tone within the words, because that's our tone, that's our spirit, that's our heart coming back to us. And so we believe that their words are trustworthy, but their actions prove otherwise. And so there's an incongruence there. See, if you want to really understand this, think of everybody as being an atomic structure, an atom, where we all have electrons, and those electrons, are given or taken, think of your stoichiometry, the chemistry that maybe you guys failed. I failed. I couldn't grasp grade 9 chemistry. But anyways, if you guys can think of the power within you is the electron, and your power is your emotions, and you give away emotions or you absorb emotions. And we know in chemistry, the basics of chemistry, there has to be bonding pairs, and there has to be a certain match, 2 electrons absorb 3 electrons or whatever, and you create, this chemical, right? So you create bonding pairs. Well, that's what it is with us, but we think that we're a bonding pair with the narcissist because they match our language. No, the language and the action have to go hand in hand. And the language has to have a spirit of love behind it, because their actions have to show that spirit of love to prove that they're loving. But when the narcissist comes to say, oh, you're the best person I've ever met, you're so sweet, so kind, let me take you out for a coffee. When they barely know you, we think, oh, that's so nice, thank you, I accept. Yes, let's go for a coffee. But they're really just trying to, they're attaching to you for their own ulterior motives. We don't think excuse me, it's really uncomfortable for you to say that when you just met me. You've only known me for 5 minutes, and you're saying that I'm the best person that you've ever met, and we're soulmates, and all this stuff. Why would I want to go out for a coffee with you? This is nothing more than, the narcissist is the stranger danger, the person that we were told to be wary of when we were kids. But instead of luring us with candy, they lure us in with dinner dates, coffee dates, surprise visits, telephone calls, oh, you're so gorgeous, or you're so handsome. And, they don't lead us into their car saying, I lost my puppy. Can you help me find it? No, they're like, I lost my heart. Can you help me find it? I found my heart in you. Oh, we're a perfect match. And we're the unsuspecting child, the innocent child saying, okay, I agree. I want a hug too. Air hugs. Air hugs to everybody. I always made sure to keep it even Steven with my ex-narctard, because my intuition caught on that every time he did something good, it came at a price. I know, right? Like, really? Excuse me. I got 13 kids and 17 grandkids. Wow, that's awesome, Carmen. You got a big, loving family. Awesome. God bless you. Excuse me. So know that your empathy is never the vulnerability. It is your empathy is something to be cherished. Don't allow your empathy to ever be smack talked. Like, your empathy is golden. Your empathy is the heart of you, as your empathy is from God, as it is God. This is his likeness. And, we've just learned to go on and hang on to the narcissist's every word. And when their behavior doesn't match up with what we believed from their language, that causes us a cognitive dissonance, and that's what causes the rumination. So narcissists use what is called semantic intimacy. These are deep words that hold meaning for you, not for them. And this meaning is without behavioral intimacy, which would be like a repair, a deep repair, like, let me make this up to you. Or, like if they say, I'm going to put on a fashion show for my pigeon, Little Cloud. That was so fun there last night, by the way. Thank you, Andrea. That was awesome. Did you guys get a chance to check out our video? It was awesome. So cool. So if, Andrea says, I'm going to have a fashion show, and she gathers all of us and we're all excited, and then she doesn't put this on, and we're all sitting there waiting going, where'd you go? And, then that's like semantic intimacy, the playing on the words, hyping up the big, the big scene, the big event, without behavioral follow through. So, that, her little, like, you guys, you got to go onto her her channel for YouTube. She has two birds, a pigeon and a dove, and they are just so sweet. And do you still have your video up for the live that she did yesterday? You did yesterday? I don't know. I don't know if it's still up, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. So yeah. So my ex would move the goalposts all the time. Exactly. That's what they do. Yeah, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And that's exactly it. Yeah, that's what we do. We mean what we say and say what we mean. And that's what we would love the narcissist to do, but that's not what you're going to get. And, narcissists do point that out. When they see that in you, when you're like that, you tell it like it is, you're laid back and you follow through, they'll tell you, they notice that. because it bothers them, because they're not like that. So your healing requires restraining how you interpret words and not reducing your empathy. Okay? Just look for a follow through. Don't have expectations. You know, when you know you're dealing with a narcissist, do not have expectations on them. Do not, because it's just going to hurt you in the end. So here's the truth bomb number 5. Part of you already knew of who they are. And that's what hurts so much, because you're hoping against hope. You're hoping against the knowledge of yourself. You're actually trying to, I guess this would be a form of testing God, because God is telling you they're not who they say they are. They're not going to follow through. They're not going to do this. And you're like, let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. I hope. God, please let them follow through. God, please let them be honest. God, please. And what ends up happening? You go against the God speak in your heart. You go against the word of God in your heart, and you try to make the narcissist into somebody that they're not. And then we get hurt afterwards, because when it all falls apart, we're like, God, what happened? What happened? And God's like, I told you already. You put the expectations on this person, and I told you to stand back and just observe. But no, you decided you wanted to go full tilt with your heart and fall head over heels. I'm here to help you pick up the pieces, but I didn't do this. This is all on you, girlfriend. That's kind of what God has been telling me. Like, I reflect on the narcissistic relationships, the female friendships that were narcissistic, and I'm just like, holy smokes, was I ever in some sort of need? Like, I had no idea how much I was ignoring my feminine side. I had no idea how I was not a friend to myself. So, yeah. So, it's in the moments that you felt misalignment, but you stayed. That's where the problem is. That's where the heartache is. And this is why healing feels like it's self-betrayal. It's not just grief. It is you healing and forgiving yourself over that self-betrayal. And yes, your ego is going to project that onto the narcissist and say, it's all them. They did this to me. They did. Eventually, you start owning what you did to yourself. So we often say, well, I felt this before. I knew this was coming. I knew it. Why didn't I listen? Why did I ignore this? Your gut was never silent. God is always speaking to you. It was just outpaced by hope and faith, attachment, or trauma conditioning. So that's why it's important for us now to take pauses and be still and know that God is with us and listen. So always giving benefit of the doubt. Yes. And it feels good too, but once we see what we see, we can't unsee it. Now that we know, it's really hard for the narcissist to really pull the wool over our eyes. It really is. So healing isn't about blaming ourselves. It's about restoring trust in our perception without becoming hypervigilant. And truth bomb number 6, the narcissist didn't steal your identity. They collapsed into it, meaning that they didn't just mirror you. They borrowed your coherence because they don't generate their own coherence. This is why separation feels distorting or disorientating. It's like, okay, everything about you is hijacked. Your language, your values, your meaning making. These things were used as, a point for the narcissist to pivot off of from. So The narcissist was using your internal structure to stay psychologically upright. So your healing involves reclaiming ownership of your inner architecture, not just detaching from them. You got to build yourself up again. And healing doesn't come from understanding the narcissist better. It starts by understanding who the narcissist is, absolutely, but it comes from understanding why you trusted language without alignment and forgiving yourself for not doing so because you didn't know what you didn't know. We don't know that when we go into this big wide world, we're out of alignment, we're askew. Our frequency is a little bit of a instead of like humming along with this human resonance, hum. No, we're a little bit of that, grating metal on metal. Oh, ow. But we can't hear it because it's coming from us. We're emanating it. We're too close, so you can't hear it. So there's truths there, though, that we already know intuitively. But what we do not know is that doubt isn't a sign that you're confused. It's a sign that your mind is leaving a false certainty behind. So we second guess ourselves because the body and mind need proof. This is a big decision to let the potential love of your life go. One must be sure, and we cannot be sure unless we see the specific patterns. So I want to share with you language and behavioral patterns that separate language patterns from behavioral patterns, because we often see behavioral patterns but don't realize we were already warned by the words first. Is that confusing? Yeah, it is. See, by nature, behavioral and language patterns go hand in hand. If your feet are facing the door when you're meeting somebody, it often means that you're waiting for your exit. So your speech patterns are going to be like keeping the conversation quick, staying direct to the point, not wandering. You got somewhere to be, you're facing the door. I don't have time to talk, I gotta go. So your speech pattern is going to fall in alignment with what your body language is saying. But with the narcissist, they say and do two different things. They don't line up. So that's what I want to talk about before we close this video. Because narcissism announces itself linguistically before it ever escalates behaviorally. The narcissist often tells on themselves. You're at a meeting and they're sitting there and they're telling you things and, I don't trust people very much. Or they'll say, I can't tell a lie. I have to be honest. I'm a straight shooter. I tell it like it is. And sometimes, I'm brutally honest, but I'll leave that for people to deal with. That's not my problem. Well, then you just asked, well, so tell me about yourself. That's a red flag to finish up your coffee or your dinner. And thank you. It was really nice to meet you. Have a nice life. Not a nice day. Have a nice life. I won't be seeing you again. And they'll be like, oh, I had fun. Can we do this again? No, thank you. Don't lead them on because they'll find an in. But, now that we see their patterns and hear their speech, we're listening. Because the language pattern is full of red flags. It's what they say and how they say it that matters. These aren't just mean or dramatic phrases that they use. They reveal structure deficits within themselves. The emotional absolutes are seen early on in a conversation. I've never felt this way before. You're different from everyone else. This is fate. This is God-led. This is destiny. Why these are red flags? Because emotionally healthy people develop depth over time. And we may see that, this is a coincidence and maybe this is God-led, but we're not going to speak too soon. We're just going to give this some time to, really develop and see where this is going. So the narcissistic language collapses time to manufacture intimacy. So intensity replaces intimacy. And number 2, there's high insight but low accountability. So the narcissist can describe emotions to a T. Like they can do this. They can quote scripture, but they never own the causality. So they'll say things like, well, I reacted because I was triggered, or I'm like this because of my past, so deal with it. Oh, you know I didn't mean it like that. Come on, you know me better than that. This is telltale signs that explanations are abundant, but the repairing of those explanations, or repairing the behavior that follows or that's behind that, it's gone, it's absent. So insight is used to deflect, not transform. And number 3, well, the narcissist borrows identity. Their language slowly mirrors your values, your wounds, your faith language, your phrases. You'll hear your words coming out of their mouths and it'll make you feel like they're actually listening to you. No. This matters because they aren't aligning with you at all. They're stabilizing themselves through you. They're using your language in order for you to feel more comfortable, so you'll let down your guard and you'll bond with them. Mirroring is not connection. It's normally, yes, in a normal relationship, it is connection. But it's with the narcissist, it's quick and it's always superficial. It's dependence without consent. And number 4, there's the vague commitments with precise feelings. I want to do better. Oh, I want to do better. Why can't I be a better person? This sucks. I just didn't know. Yeah. Or they'll be like, I feel so bad about that. Can you ever forgive me? They won't say, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Or they'll say, well, things will get better. Things will change. You'll see I can do better. But ask how, when, or what specifically. You want to do better? Okay, well, that's admirable, but how do you feel like you can go about doing that? What changes do you need to make in your life? Why are you supporting me? I said I want to do better. Isn't that enough? Yeah. What do you feel bad about? What is it that you did? You know I hurt you, and now you just don't trust me anymore. Yeah, right. You keep asking these questions, they're just going to dig a deeper hole for themselves. So feelings are used as currency, as structure is avoided. Number 5, the language that rewrites reality is, you'll hear this language, you'll hear, that's not what happened. You're remembering wrong. I can't believe it. You were there. Don't you remember? Don't you know? Or you're being too sensitive. The crucial detail in this is they don't sound confused. They sound certain. And that leads you to feel uncertain and confused. Confidence is used to destabilize your perception and your reality of what you lived and endured. So number 6, there's a spiritual or moral high ground language attached to the narcissist, especially in faith-based contexts where the narcissist claims to be a Christian just like you. I believe in Jesus. And they'll say, I've forgiven you already. It's okay. You know, I appreciate your apology, but I've forgiven you long before you apologized, so it's okay. Or they'll say, you know what, it's okay. God knows my heart. God knows where I'm coming from. Or they'll say, you know what, your problem is you need to extend a little bit more grace. These are red flags because the spiritual language is used to silence accountability, their accountability. It doesn't deepen humility. So the God language becomes a shield and as a weapon. So here are the behavioral red flags. This is what they do consistently. This is where we often gaslight ourselves because behavior appears subtle, but at first. So there's patterned inconsistency. This is, nothing is random, okay? Even chaos is consistent. Excuse me. Chaos is predictable. And with the narcissist, there is predictable inconsistency. Their warmth turns to cold. It's not steady. They'll be present 1 minute and it's like you begin to rely on the good things about them, and then as soon as you're relying on those and as soon as they've gained your trust, it's like their spirit can feel the frequency shift in you. So as soon as you gain trust that they're always kind, they'll switch and become unkind. As soon as you begin to trust their presence, their reliability, they'll go absent and they'll become unreliable. As soon as you begin to trust their affection for you, they'll switch and withdraw. So this keeps your nervous system scanning and bonded to them through the trauma bond. And here, behavior number 2, they avoid repairing a relationship. See, healthy people, we address the harm, we stay present in discomfort, we change our behavior to suit other people, to make them happy and to adhere to their boundaries out of respect and love for them. But narcissists justify, minimize, and they move on without resolution. Why can't you just get over it? That was like 2 days ago. That was a long time ago. Just get over it. Yeah. So conflict is escaped. It's not integrated. So number 3, there's punishment disguised as distance. They withdraw their affection, their communication, their cooperation. They deny it's intentional. No, I just need a space. No, I'm just busy. No, you're reading too much into it. I just need my space. No, we're good. I don't know what you're thinking. Just because you haven't heard from me for 2 weeks doesn't mean anything. We're still together. We're still friends. We're still besties. We're still tight. I don't know what your problem is. You're being too sensitive, I guess. But no, we're good. So distance becomes discipline. So their distance and you chasing them and you asking, are we good? Like, what did I do? It's been 2 weeks since we last spoke. Like, are we over? Like, are we no longer best friends? Are we no longer in a relationship? Like, what's going on here? And that's what they want. They want the chase because the chase makes them feel important. When you go, see, your silence, because we're normal people, our silence sometimes denotes peace. There's no conflict. So everything's good. There's good feelings all around, and, we can spend time with each other without saying a word, But with the narcissist, if you're quiet, if you settling, they don't recognize that you're settling into the peace. And so that peace for them, they're snubbing me. They don't like me anymore. They're punishing me. They found somebody new. Yeah. So they're going to treat you the way that they feel like they've been treated, but it's all in their minds. Number 5, they can't tell they tell the truth when it benefits them, but they use image management over the truth. So they put themselves over the truth. They matter more than the truth. So they care more about how things look for them. They care about what they look like. They care about what others think about them. And they care about being misunderstood. And they care about this more than they care about what actually happened, your internal experience, or their reputation outranks the relationship as far as they are concerned. So They don't care about the truth. If the truth is going to make them look bad or feel bad, there is no truth. For them, the truth is only what makes them feel good and what makes them look good. So it can be confusing, but this is where we have to take a step back and not allow the unconditional love lead us into bypassing truths. We use our unconditional love not just for them, but for us. See, that's the thing. When we go into narcissistic relationships, we don't have this unconditional love for ourselves, but we're willing to show it for the narcissist. So now that we know, we can use unconditional love for ourselves, which is healthy boundaries, self-integrity, self-respect. So when we walk in a relationship with our self-respect and unconditional love for us and for everybody intact, we can see the narcissist for who they are, not who they're not. You know, we see the truth. Love reveals the truth. They're not loving, Shannon. That person is not loving to you. They don't love you like you love yourself. And the reason why they can't love you because they don't love themselves. They're going to hurt you because they're used to hurting themselves. So that protects you. When you can see that in other people, you're like, okay, so I guess I better stay back. I better keep my feelings in check. I have to work with this person. I don't have to be friends with them. I can be nice to them, but I got to watch my back. Exactly, Shannon. Good girl. That's awesome. You're getting the hang of this, right? So number 6, you feel worse after clarity. You don't feel better. See, with healthy relationships, after the smoke clears and we hash things out, we clear things up, we walk away better than what we were in that disagreement or whatever it is. We walk away feeling good about ourselves and good about the relationship and good about each other. But this is something that we as narcissistic victims don't talk about, because after explaining ourselves clearly, calmly, lovingly, what happens? We still feel more confused than ever. We feel more guilty. We feel more unsure. This isn't communication failure. This is a distortion in the relationship. So here's a red flag that most people miss. When you're doing all the emotional labor, that's a red flag, and you call it love. When you're translating, interpreting, softening, waiting, explaining, and they're reacting, deflecting, withdrawing, resetting, that's a problem. When reciprocity is absent, but your effort for the relationship is constant and their lack of effort is constant, that's a problem. We call that one-sided relationships. And that's the red flag that many of us do not see right away, because we are givers. Unconditional love is naturally giving, naturally. So here's the final truth in all of this. If you need this much explanation, regulation, and self-erasure to maintain connection, you're not in intimacy. You're in emotional servitude. And the reason this video hurts you is because part of you already recognized these patterns. You may not have been able to put a name to them. You may not have known what to do. You may not have, maybe you've known what you wanted to do and needed to do, but you were not strong enough to do it because you needed proof. Well, this is the proof. You've experienced it. That's proof enough. But now that you know, it's time for you to understand what you now need to do for you, not for them, for you. and that is to think of your safety, physical and emotional safety. You are allowed to live this life as you are entitled to live this life, as this is your inheritance, to live your life in peace, tranquility, happiness, harmony. Who is the one that has told you and forced you and said that you have to live by this rule, that you have to be lesser and that you don't deserve good things? Who made up that rule? That rule was made up in your head by the trauma that we've experienced externally. But the voice, the egoic voice in our head, is keeping that going. That ego voice is a liar. It's your enemy. So I hope this video has helped you. And if you guys want to talk, you're welcome to make an appointment with me, a one-on-one hour-long appointment with me at your earliest convenience. The link is in the description of this video and also in this chat. And you can email me with your comments, questions, and suggestions at shannongilmore@protonmail.com. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Subscribe to this channel, as we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening. So yes, we will be back here at 10 o'clock. And please join us on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, as we will, be here for you. If you guys are not, if you're not going to be with family and you're not participating in the holiday this year, then please join us, as we'll have open sessions on this channel. This channel survives with your donations. So if you like this ministry, as we do talk a lot about God here on this channel, we do Bible studies on Sundays afternoons at 2 o'clock. If you want to support this channel and see these lives continue, then please consider making a donation at the link in the description of this video or in this chat. Thank you, Resistor. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. It's been a pleasure to see you. And so God might have created the narc to bring us closer to God, maybe. That's exactly it. Mr. Osgood, sorry. We have to see the darkness before we can see the light. It's like, if you look at a painting, you'll always see the highlights and the shadows. And you make highlights, as the highlights are there to enhance the shadow. And the shadows are there to enhance the light. So you have to have light and dark. You have to have contrast. That's what's in us. We have to have contrast. But with this world, the contrast to, step outside of love and into fear is, the weight of those scales is heavier. So the contrast within us is imbalanced. We have more things that in our lives that are on the familiar pattern of, gravitating to fear than love. So that's why we learn, and we learn to think and express ourselves in patterns of unconditional love, as that tips the scales into God's favor instead of the enemy's favor. So, yeah. So thank you for joining us, and it's so nice to see all of you guys here. So have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy your evening. It's snowing, so I got to do some snow shoveling tonight. So see you guys later. See you tonight. Enjoy your day. God bless. Bye-bye. Oh, and please join Andrea's channel, because she's going to do a jam session at 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. See you there. Bye-bye, everyone.